Today we're looking at using vintage macro lenses on modern mirrorless cameras. Hey everyone, Sean here with Fotodiox, and this is one of my favorite lenses that I own. Picked it up at a thrift store a couple years ago. It has some wear, as you can see here. It's dented, so it's hard to put a filter on it, but otherwise it works great. I got it for a really good price. And it is a Nikon AF Micro-Nikkor 60mm f2.8D lens. This is a wonderful macro lens, and I love shooting macro photography, so it works great for the type of nature and insect photography I shoot. I love this little window that Nikon put on their lenses at this time that has the focus on it. As you can see, we're currently at infinity, but we can extend the lens out all the way, and now we are at 0.219 meters. So this focus is super close up. It's a wonderful macro lens, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. But that leads to the question, how exactly do I use a manual vintage lens like this on my modern mirrorless camera? Now this is a Nikon F-mount lens. It was made for Nikon F-mount film SLR cameras, but it also works on Nikon F-mount digital cameras. So to mount this lens on my Sony E-mount camera, I'm going to need a Nikon F to Sony E adapter. And I use this adapter, obviously, because I work for Fotodiox. This is our Nikon G to Sony E Pro adapter. The reason it's called G is it also works with more modern Nikon F-mount lenses that don't have manual aperture control. This lens does have manual aperture control, so we can actually adjust the aperture manually, but some newer Nikon G-type lenses do not have manual aperture control, and that's why this adapter has a little blue ring in it. You can actually rotate this ring to adjust the aperture of lenses like that don't give you a manual aperture control ring. So this is a fully manual adapter. There are no electronics, but it does give you aperture control for more modern Nikon F-mount lenses, the G-type lenses that do not give you a manual aperture control ring on the lens itself. The other cool thing about this adapter is it has this clicked / declicked aperture control. If you have it switched to here, you can hear the clicks as I adjust the aperture. And that means when you're adjusting your aperture, it's going to jump to each one. It's not going to be smooth. But if we set it to this icon, the wave icon, the aperture adjustment is now smooth, and it will adjust the aperture of an adapted lens smoothly, which is great if you're shooting video with an adapted lens. You want that smooth iris adjustment. You don't want the clicks. This adapter allows you to declick the aperture. Mounting the lens on the adapter is super simple. You're just going to find the mounting dot on the lens, line it up with the red mounting dot on the adapter, press the lens into the adapter, and rotate it to lock it into place. Then to remove the lens, you're just going to find this little silver tab, slide it this way. You're pulling the locking ring out of the lens so you can remove it. So pretty simple to mount and dismount the lens. And like I said about the clicked and declicked aperture, if we leave it set at clicked, you'll see as I adjust with the blue ring, it's clicking between each aperture setting. But if I go declicked, now I can smoothly iris the aperture. You're really only going to need this for video, but it can be very helpful if you're shooting video and you want to do smooth adjustment. Let's say you're in a dark room, you have your aperture open all the way. You step out into daylight, you slowly close the iris down, smoothly adjust it to adjust for the light, and it's going to have a more organic look in your video rather than a clicked look, which you don't want. Okay, we've got the lens mounted on the adapter. Now let's mount the adapter on my Sony camera. Line up the red mounting dot with the white mounting dot, press the adapter into the camera, and rotate it to lock it into place. And just like that, we've got this beautiful vintage macro lens adapted to my modern mirrorless full frame camera. We can extend it all the way, and we can shoot beautiful macro photos like these. These are some macro photos I captured. I love capturing insect photography, flower photography, anything I can get really close up on and get that beautiful detail. And as you can see, this lens actually looks really good on a digital camera. It's very sharp, getting a lot of detail, and it really holds its own in the modern lens field. Obviously, a digital lens is going to be sharper. It's going to give you more options like autofocus, electronic aperture control. When you are adapting a manual macro lens like this, you got to remember there are some of those limitations. You do have to manually adjust focus, you do have to manually adjust aperture. But I find when I am shooting with my macro lens on this camera, generally to focus, I'm just moving the camera a little bit back and forth. That's really how I'm doing it. I'm not really adjusting the actual focus much. Generally, I'm just leaving it at the closest focus, and then I'm just moving the lens and camera back and forth. So it's really not that hard to capture an in-focus shot, especially if I'm taking a bunch of shots moving back and forth. And then of course, if the subject isn't moving, I can also focus stack in post. Okay, that was a quick look at how I adapt this vintage macro Nikon lens to my Sony full frame camera with our Fotodiox adapter. Now we offer adapters for all sorts of different types of lens mounts to mount them on all sorts of different types of cameras. Basically, if you have an older lens that was made for an SLR type camera, odds are we make an adapter to mount that lens on a modern mirrorless camera. If you have any questions about specific lens adapters we offer, comment below. I'd love to point you in the right direction to the adapter you need. Also, comment below if you have any questions about anything I said in today's video. Love to help you out. Plus, click the links in the description below to check out this specific lens adapter and all the lens adapters we currently offer. Also, click right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos just like this one.